Hey guys, TheWarlemming here. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to build a piston cannon. Unlike regular TNT cannons, this one relies on the use of a cool mod block called pistons. Pistons push whatever's in front of them, depending on their facing direction, away one tile. Now while that's not much, for a start, you have to note that they will push blocks that are stacked upon each other up all in one group. So if I have two blocks lined up like this, all of them get pushed away. The other important thing to know is that when it's an entity and not a block, so let's say this redstone and this pile of stone, sorry, I don't know what I'm doing there, they get pushed much further. It's because of that TNT cannons are possible with pistons. Okay, to build a piston cannon, for a start, you'll need to download the piston mod, which if you Google search Minecraft pistons should be like the first thing there. You also need redstone wire, redstone repeaters, a single torch is all you need for it, and TNT and sand, and whatever you want to build out of. For a start, you want a piston layout like this. It doesn't have to be exactly like this, you can actually make it longer. So I could have it twice as thick. Or even have a separate line, which is what I did in my larger scale mod. And redstone wire, when placed a block above, will trigger them like this, or when it's directly facing them, it will also trigger it. To make this tutorial easier to understand, I've pre-built every single stage, so I can just go from one to the next. Now, the important thing to know is that the amount of TNT you can fire is dependent on the length of your belt. Your belt is the distance from one tile in front of the piston, the deactivated piston more specifically. So, here to the end of here. A tile afterwards is where the piston that shoots them up will go. To make this work, is reliant on sand. Because sand and gravel, if you want to use that, are affected by gravity, they continuously replace the old block as it gets pushed away. Now, sand is a little bit buggy with pistons. If sand lands on a piston while it's extending or retracting, you can end up losing a block. So dealing with that to make it work just right can be a bit of a problem. But if you get it right, it's all cool. So, in this setup, each time I flick it on and off, it pushes the whole block one forwards. And with my piston cannon there, it would launch that block up, and then I can just keep doing this over and over. It'll keep pushing blocks out each step. Now, in the real cannon, these would be TNT rather than sand, but when you're trying to build it the first time, always use sand for all your testing. You don't want to blow up all your work every single time. Now, for the rapid fire aspect, you'll need a wired setup like this. It doesn't have to be exactly the same as usual, but this is my preferred setup. So, 3 repeaters for the ring. This one on waiting 1 tick, and this one waiting 3, same with that one. And if I flick it on and off like that, it will just keep going and going. And each rotation will fire a new block of sand, like this. Because I'm using torches, it's important to know that to deal with the whole losing a sand block glitch, you need to have it flick on and off really quickly. And so the problem with regular switches like these, or even levers, is that it can be not fast enough. So I prefer to just go like that. Triggers it, doesn't cause the problem with the sand. Okay, now if you've got that set up, you'll need a launching button, like this, which only requires you to extend out your previous setup with another line of redstone, you'll probably need a repeater, especially if you've got a very long line of TNT. And the reason why I set up like this, with this redstone trigger here, same with on the other side, is so that if I wanted to extend it, I can go and place red wire like this. And at each of these would be another piston to launch them up. Now, because I haven't put in the forward launching piston, these will just bounce up and down. But it still demonstrates the point. And those will just keep going forever now. It's like juggling. The final stage is done in two parts. First part, you need a redstone wire like this. This is very important. You cannot forget this step. TNT does not get launched up like sand if it is not active. So you need a trigger, this is just for extending it, to ignite each block of TNT just before it's launched. Then you need redstone wire, throw it up, and place here. Pistons are a bit funky when you're trying to place them in the air. If you're not perfectly level in the direction, they'll end up facing upwards, so you have to extend out blocks like this. Place your piston, and then remove them. It's a little time consuming, but it's not a big deal. Now, it's very important to know that you will have to test with sand repeatedly to time this piston with the launch of the TNT. If it isn't timed, the TNT will just come up and down and you'll lose your cannon, which is why you use sand. If you get it just right, then it will flick it up and push it away. The settings I've currently used, if you look through each of the steps, is a full weight here and a full weight there, which is retained here, a full weight here, and a single weight here. This times it just right to launch each block of TNT up and away, like this. And that's how you build a piston cannon. It doesn't take too much effort. It really comes down, like the longest part of building this will be getting the timing for this just right. I accidentally got it perfect the first time, which was a shock. I'd planned to test with it and use water to prevent the TNT destroying everything, only for the TNT to not come back. So yeah, it's cool stuff. Pistons can do a lot of incredible things, like over here. I built a switch for basically flooding the front with lava to make it look cool. Basically, each time the lava drops down, like the pistons retract, lava pours down, and the pistons can be extended again to block the lava. It's a little bit buggy. Lava's really funky. It works every time with water. And next time I will demonstrate a new idea for a cannon, which essentially is what I've done with regular cannons, the old, line of TNT and projectile, except that they will now auto-reload each time. Yeah. That's it for everyone. See you next time.